the other moment that really struck me in the documentary, which this is an actual PSA for people now. I'm gonna go into my soapbox. Whenever she decided to drop out, and Nellie's on the phone with her, her mom's on the phone with her, and you get the thing, and Nellie's saying like, "You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't have to do it." Yeah. The best for me, I'm like the best moment, probably even more so than Laurent, because
parents' pressure.
Oh my God! The amount of pressure that can come from a parent.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my God!
It sometimes can be so defeating, not only for the athlete but for the coach as well, because it's like, because you're the one that works hand in hand with the kids' progress and the progression from the beginning all the way to where they are now, and it's like it can all just go downhill by one comment that is said by the parent.
100%. If I could, I'm gonna ask Nelly to be on this so that I can tell her like, it's the quintessential thing to say.
Yeah.
To a gymnast. To an athlete that's competing, and even at the highest level, for the parent, the first thing to come out of her mouth is, "You don't have to do it."
Right.
Like
I'm with you. I'm supporting you.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas there's a lot of parents, and we've coached top parents before, so like, there's a lot of parents that are like, "No. My kid's talented. She has to do it."
Yeah. And a lot of people talk about like, dance moms, but
my God.
With gymnastics moms,
it's like, crazy.
Yeah.
So this is, again, it's not an indictment. I'm just saying like it is a beautiful moment as a parent from one parent to another, watching Nelly having to tell Simone, "You don't have to do this. Get off that stage if you do not feel safe." It was a beautiful moment.
It's the smartest thing to do. 100%. Well. It's like the love for your child at the end of the day, because she's 100%. Not doing
and understanding
things.
That like Simone probably also felt incredible support. Right. So Simone also felt like home was a safe space, which is what home should be. This is what parents should be, is a safe space. They shouldn't be getting pressure from parents. I always tell parents, like, if you want me to, as a coach, to tell you what the best thing that you can say after a meet.
Yeah.
Good performance, bad performance, mediocre performance, horrible performance, catastrophic performance. Like, doesn't matter what the performance was. The best thing that you can say as a parent is, "I love watching you do what you love to do."
Yeah.
That's it. Let's go get ice cream. That's it.
Yeah.
No, next time you're going to point your toes, right? It's okay. Next time she's going to do better, right? Like, even like if the kid is right next to you and you're talking to another adult, like, we went to a meet and like, we were doing good. We had a little bit of hiccups, but like next time you're going to do better, right? Like none of that.
Those little comments.
None of that.
Like,
no, don't, none of that. Yeah. None of that. Because you think that you think that you're being supportive, but all the kid is internalizing is like, I have to do this for my mom now.
Yeah. Or like a lot of the times what I hear is like, but my mom's going to be mad at me, or my dad's going to be mad at me. And I'm like,
insane.
They don't matter. And I think it sounds horrible. And I feel like if any of my parents see this, like, what your parents said doesn't matter. But it's like, it's not about them. It's not about me. It's like, if I can, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm working hand in hand and I can stop and say, it's not about me either. You know what I mean? It's like, it's about you and your confidence in this and your success, and it's all about you, not about anybody else, So, yeah, I've always said, like, I've always put it like this way. It's like, this is the athlete, this is the parent, and this is the coach. And if one's pushing and the other one's not, we're just going to be sitting in a circle. You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to literally be going here. We're not going to go anywhere. We both have to be on the same page, and we got to be
That's pushing. A good way to say it.
Yeah.
I usually do it in a triangle. Like, each side is and without one of the sides. Like, we're just
collapsing.
We're just collapsing. But that's a good visual. Yeah, I think the supportive parent, that moment of Nelly. And Nelly's such a sweet person. I'm sure you've met her. I'm sure you've been around her because we go to like the Biles meet or whatever. She's just like so nondescript. She's such a sweet person. But like, it was a beautiful moment to see. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. Because it would have been even worse. Yeah, I think it would have been even worse if you would have gotten footage of a parent being like, it's okay, just try again. Or like, you know what I mean? And instead of like,
why?
Like
trying to like get
what's
them
wrong?
To answer
yeah,
questions.
like, oh my God. So I think that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. The third thing that came out of it for me, and I'm not sure that Simone actually made this point, but I've recognized this point when it comes to people that are phenomenal at what they do. And I'm not sure that if you saw the last episode that I did with Bree, we had a brief conversation about the difference between good and great, and how the difference is sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice for being the best is loneliness.
Yeah.
And there was a moment around the same segment of like the Twisties and Simone and 2021 and everything, where the big theme there was she had a support system. Obviously, a parent, Nelly, was a good support system to lean back on and feel safe and things like that. And her husband, and like, which was a great moment to see. And, you know, but like, from as an athlete, as being the best at something, you were at the peak, you're at the top of the mountain. There is absolutely no one that would understand what she's going through. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, the amount of loneliness.
Yeah, and I think it's like reading where she's like reading all the comments, like people's comments. Oh my God,
and the isolation that she must have felt.
I feel like Simone is really good at that, and it's like stopping and going back to being that person that can stop bad generations. And I think she has been one of the people, mainly for USA Gymnastics, who has been able to stop, and because of the position that she is, and you know, all her greatness behind it, she has that ability to kind of be like, no, we're not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, she
does have a good balance. She has a good balance of being like braggadocio and like owning her greatness, but then also saying like, but I'm also just a person.
Right. And so like when she's reading those messages, and I think there was one that I can clearly remember where she's like, but like, you're judging me because I have the twisties. Like, I can literally fall and be paralyzed. Like, I'm doing something that's really difficult, and you're sitting here just writing a comment, not knowing how it can affect others, but you can't do a cartwheel. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's a good perspective.
She's right. Yeah. Like it's dangerous. It's something dangerous. And if she can stop and say, I am not mentally well to do this right now, and this could potentially hurt me or hurt others or whatever, like, the best that I can do right now is stop. That takes a lot for those athletes who have worked and worked and worked years and years to try to get to that moment. And it was like, you know, the Carrie situation where it was like
the Carrie Struck situation is very poignant. I think
it's sad. I think we stop, and now that we realize, it's like, before everybody used to see it as, oh my God, she you know, she did it for her country.
She was on cereal boxes. Like, there's like, I think the Olympics have like montages with like Bella carrying Carrie with like a bouquet of flowers, and she's like, and it's like they put her as this like poster child for like the things that you'll do for your country and this and that. Yeah. And I look back at that and I'm like,
yeah. And now that I watched the documentary, and I was sitting there,
why would you let that girl vault on a broken ankle?
It's sad. It's sad.
I've watched that clip back, and it just doesn't hit the same. Like, I think at some point they like added music, and it looks all like riveting and like, oh my God, like she persevered. And I look at that clip and I'm like, that is horrible.
That's sad. It's really
that is
sad.
So sad that girl was walking back from the moment that she lands and she falls, and like the look on her face when she's not even looking at it, she's looking for Bella. And she's looking for Bella to tell her like, get off, it's done. But she knows in her head that Bella's gonna be like, do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like I can see it in her face. She's like walking back and like starting to like limp, and I'm like, this is not okay. This moment is horrible. Yeah. So, I mean, I think ultimately what it comes down to is that like the audience wants everything from their greatest sports people, from their greatest athletes. The audience wants it all. And I think it's because of the like living vicariously through them. Like, you are not a person. You are here to make me feel what I'm never going to be able to actually feel, because I'm going to live through you. They do it to LeBron James and Steph Curry. They do it to Tiger Woods. They do it to like all these people that are like, you're great, so you have to keep being great, or else I'm going to throw everything at you, because that's your job, is to be phenomenal. And I just think as an audience, it is the most distasteful thing that you can do when admiring greatness is assume that they owe you anything. Assuming that because you get to turn on the TV and eat some wings while you're watching this thing, that you get to demand anything from any of those people. I think that is the biggest distasteful thing as an audience member that you want. You know what I mean? It's not every audience member, but I think for the most part, like, it's a feeling that people get, right? And it's just it's rough.